tube and blow continuously until I tell you to stop.
Tony's practically out of gas. And air.
0.
Thank you.
But he hasn't been drinking.
And he wants to retire soon. He won't go.
I tell you what, I didn't have a cool head when I looked over and realised you hadn't filled the poxy thing up.
We're driving 26 miles to run. Hey, who says my fault I didn't fill it up?
Well, you were the last one to have it.
Now it is time for Tony to get tanked up.
I think we need to go and get some petrol.
Yes.
Slicing through the heart of Bedfordshire is the busiest stretch of the whole of the M1. 30 miles of it, nearly all affected by years of carriage-widening roadworks.
With the roadworks at 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, so when things do go wrong, they're a lot slower, and therefore not as many people get hurt and injured. But there's some nasty incidents occur.
In a small room at Toddington service station, CCTV is being monitored around the clock should any nasty incidents happen. And this evening, something very nasty has happened. A major disaster has struck. A 40-ton truck has careered over the central reservation, smashing into the busy traffic travelling in the opposite direction. Tony and Craig are rushing to the scene. They need to get there fast.
En route, obviously, to the motorway, just under the Toddington services, a report of Lorry gone over Central Reservation. We've got a unit at scene at the moment. With regards to casualties, we've got one person at least, and that person's currently unconscious.
They call these crossovers, the very worst kind of accident on a motorway.
If we have a crossover, and thank goodness they're pretty rare, all I can think of is the worst. Invariably, one of those vehicles, the one that's crossing over, will be a heavy, because they're the ones that can actually get through the barriers. On every single one of those occasions, there will be carnage, and it's only a matter of luck whether there's going to be serious injury, but most probably death.
Fortunately, the rush hour's over, and getting to the motorway has been straightforward.
The main issue on a major crash like that is making sure that access is available to the emergency services. So if we need any more ambulances or fire engines, that they're not stuck in traffic.
But access all of a sudden is a problem.
What buffoon is turning around down here?
People are trying to escape being trapped on the motorway by turning back up the slip road.
No process contemplated, breath test was attempted, but obviously not.
What don't help is when you've got people down here doing U-turns and trying to come back up. Once we've got an agreement we can do it safe, it's fine. But you've got people here turning around already. And then what they forget, if any interferes with the emergency services coming, we've got fire engines allowed to come in down, it then hinders everything getting here.
Good night.
But you can see now how quick the carnage, you've got the whole motorway stopped.
All 3 lanes were blocked. Lane 3 of the other carriageway was blocked, and there was carnage.
150,000 vehicles a day use this part of the M1. With it at a standstill, the whole region could grind to a halt, and literally millions could be affected. But Tony's main concern is for the people involved in the smash and those helping them.
Nice. Well, not so nice.
Thank you.
When we first get there, it is most definitely the fire service and ambulance's job, and we stay out of the way and make it as easy as it can be for those.
Against all the odds, no one has been killed. Somehow, the driver of this car, a VW Passat, has survived being hit head-on by the out-of-control lorry.
So where's the Passat then?
He's down there.
He's just down there on the floor. What's happened?
And unbelievably, he isn't badly hurt. The driver of the lorry is being treated in the ambulance, but it's not clear what exactly his injuries are.
This guy here managed to stagger out of the vehicle of his own accord, where he's lost consciousness just down there. He was unconscious, breathing at the time. The driver of the wagon pretty much collapsed at the roadside. The paramedics suspected that he had spine, pelvis, neck injuries, so they were obviously very concerned about him.
When we got there, Andy went to the lorry driver. I went straight to the Passat, expecting the driver to be in a mess, and he had a bump on his wrist. And it's almost one of those things where you can't believe it's happening to you. You're looking around to say, this can't be it. This really can't be it. We just expected there to be bodies everywhere.
The man's injuries are negligible, but he's off to hospital anyway.
Looking at the damage to the Passat, I was amazed that anyone could walk out of it. I know the guy was carried away on a spinal board, but as I understand it, that was purely precautionary measure, and he had virtually no injuries at all afterwards.
One thing has saved him.
He's wearing his seatbelt. If you look in the car, you can see the seatbelt's still in the same position. It's not retracted, so he's definitely had his belt on. Can you imagine if he weren't wearing that? I'll be knocking on somebody's door about now.
Looking around, it can be seen that the dividing barriers were simply flattened by the lorry. For the rest of the lucky survivors, it'll be a moment they will never, ever forget.
All I could see was he was in the middle lane as he should be, and all of a sudden he just reared off, and then he just took off, and he was like, he flew through the air. It's a really frightening thing. I think I've been seeing it for a long time. I'm going to cry now. So, yeah, it's scary.
I dread to think what they were thinking when it was coming towards them. And knowing that they were going to hit it head on, and there was absolutely nothing they could do about it.
And the traffic all going along here, I suppose, doing about 50 miles an hour, because I think it's in an average speed camera zone, so probably if people were going faster, it would have been worse, so you had time to, just slow down.
We'd spoken to a few witnesses, and once the initial shock of everything had calmed down for people, it became obvious that there was a fault, probably either with the driver of the lorry or maybe with the lorry itself.
Although no one's died, the fact that it could so easily have been a catastrophe means the southbound carriageway is going to remain closed for quite some time, while investigators find out exactly what went wrong.
After having come across the central reservation, he hit the Passat head on and ended up in lane 1 and stopped. And then after a few seconds moved over to the hard shoulder.